Hey guys, Mopower here. Going to be doing a low-level farming video. Going to cut it into three parts. The first part I'm going to do it with a Squire, show you my setup, and then I'll switch to Apprentice and then a Trap Hunter. Those tend to be the typical three classes people will start off with. Monks, a lot harder to solo with if you can at least put up walls and some sort of other damage besides lightning. So I'm just going to be doing those three classes. Again, this character is only level 33, miscellaneous level 1 gear. Stats aren't that great. Probably shooting for about 50 damage, and I'd say 70, or excuse me, about 40 to 50 health, about 60 to 70 damage. You'd probably be all right. And give yourself at least 10 to 15 range and attack on that. So we're going to go to Ramparts on hard. This is the map I prefer to do it on. Very easy setup, and back when I was farming this, when I was a lower level character, when I first got the game, I could do a run in approximately about 15 minutes, and back then it would net me between 200,000 and 300,000 mana a run, which was pretty good, I thought, for back then. Nowadays the runs take about the same amount of time, but you're going to get more money because the loot's been ramped up a little bit. So again, this is a Squire. This is the new Countess class. Same thing as a Squire, pretty much. They just have a couple of different abilities and a faster run speed. I think I made my character just a tad too fast. She tends to outrun the mana if I'm not careful. So for this setup, the initial wave is the hard part on this map because they come from so many different directions. If you're not careful, it's not too bad on the Squire because she has both blocks and damage by these bumpers, which is nice. Even their walls do damage. So first setup is bowling ball here. I might kill some just to speed it up, but you can wait till the bowling ball kills some if you want. To save time, I don't like to spend the whole build phase building, so I tend to start dropping stuff during the battle. Makes it a little quicker. This bumper will take everyone out, but again, just to save some time, I'm going to show you guys how I set this up. Again, you could start doing this on the Squire, maybe even 25, but I know by 30 you can. I came here to test this out, and that's why she's 33 now. So let's see here. The other thing I put is a ranged attacker right there, harpoon turret. What that does is it gets the guys that like to hang out right at the tip of the bridge there. And this one, sometimes you'll get them there. They'll eventually get bored and walk into it, but I'm just trying to speed it up. So here you're going to do a couple things. For one, you want tower right there, and that will get the guys that like to hover right around this corner sometimes, so that helps. Now you have a couple options while doing this. If you're going to go for Master Strategist, you will want to not attack like I just did earlier by that bowling ball turret. Let it kill everything and just run in there and get mana. The key is not to have a pet that attacks, and then you can do it because it goes off all tower attacks, no player damage. You'll be alright. And that'll bump your score up quite a bit. Now this is only if you're worried about power leveling another character. After this first wave, you can swap in a level 0 and just be fine. They can still repair and everything. Now I'm dropping extra turrets here. You can get away with 2 up here, 1 on the far side in the bumper, just fine. I'm actually adding this one and an extra one up top just to get to the cap for Master Builder. We'll also swap this in for a spinner, so I get some more mana. Now the bumpers will work fine, you can get through the level just fine, but again, if you want that extra XP for the Master Builder achievement, which is using all your, Master Builder reward, for using all your defensive units, you'll want to swap those out, or add extra units wherever you think you need some. So I do it like that. So, and that's my setup. It works very, very easy. There's nothing you'll have to do. The only difference might be if you only are about level 30 and don't have much in your tower health, you might have to repair your bumper if you're going to use a bumper here. The ogres only come on the 7th and 8th waves, but chances are, I mean, they're not going to go down during the ogre, but you might want to repair them in between the waves for the 7th and 8th, but you really shouldn't have to worry about it. Okay, so just to recap, you've got the spinner, 2 bowling balls, and some coverage there. Here you've got 1 covering the corner, 3 on the top. It is overkill, but just using up the extra resources. You can get away with 2 up here, 3 is better. 2 bowling ball towers completely cover that gauntlet there, and you've got 3 covering this crystal. If you're worried about them getting through this first line, you can put this 3rd one right back here, kind of overseeing it, but they really shouldn't get through there. They're not that tough. Same thing up top. If you're worried about them coming across that, you could put that extra 3rd one back here, covering here if you wanted, but I never have an issue. Okay, so that's the setup. I'm not going to spend the time running completely through it. Squire is a very strong class, very, very easy. No problems there. What I will do now is show you my
the best deals in all of
next class, which is my low-level Apprentice. Very, very easy. She's 35 now. I started her when she was about 32, 33 as well, just to test out my setups. Working just fine. She has, you know, pretty much the same thing. You want to concentrate more on your damage more than anything. I bumped this up probably a little bit more than I needed to, but you want to concentrate on your attack and your attack speed. That'll be your main things. So we'll set this back up for you, show you how to do it. Ramparts hard, and here we go. Now it is definitely a lot harder on the Apprentice than it is for the Squire. Mainly on the first setup. Initial setup, you don't have a whole lot of mana to set things up. And you don't have any nifty walls that will both block them off and do damage to them. So you have to have some sort of damage going on here. So what you want to do here on the first wave is drop the fire tower. Now you will have some fire immune mobs, but during the wave you'll come over and set a magic missile tower down, which will help that. But what it does is, because of the splash damage, it weeds out the majority of the mobs, so you won't have too much of an issue there. Again, if you can survive the first wave, you're golden. You'll have plenty of mana to start setting everything else up. So, and a fireball tower covering that area. Up top, pretty much, as you can see, my setup's very similar to my Squire setup, but obviously I don't have any cool spike walls or bowling ball turrets, anything like that. So it's a little bit different. The worst problem I found right off the bat with messing around with different setups on this map was this gauntlet here. Tend to have some issues there. But what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start it. I'll grab some mana and throw another one on this tower, because a lot of times with just one magic missile you're not able to take out the flyer quite quick enough. So, grab some mana, throw up a magic missile to deal with those that are immune to fire. Over here, throw up another magic missile, like so. I'm getting a little bit of lag. Just to be on the safe side, I like to throw one in the back, to get past my magic missiles, being that they're kind of weak right now. Once you get up to a little higher level, get some more damage going, your magic missiles will have no problems with the anti-air guys. Or excuse me, with the air guys. Alright, so here, again, fire immune mobs. Watch out for those. Throw in the magic missile. Okay. Now something that's really cool with one of the new patches, they buffed lightning towers very much. Before they were practically useless, I hardly ever used them. But now that now they've been buffed, their range and damage, I believe, or was the attack rate and range, something like that. Anywho, what I like to do here is drop the lightning towers, I don't know, somewhere right about here. So they start attacking the mobs once they come into this little choke point. The reason I do this is I like to get them as close together as possible. Helps quite a bit. So you can do that. Drop another fireball tower there. Up here we're going to add 2 more magic missiles. And again, this is just to make sure nothing gets through. If you are concerned, you can swap out one of these, put it back behind those there, kind of like I do here, just to be on the safe side. Here, same thing. Oops. You're going to want to put a lightning tower. What's nice, you get all these guys right here that just hit all in this little choke point. This lightning will go all the way down through a bunch of them. It works very well. Alright. So, what I do here, I'll throw in one more, kind of just some extra damage. Being the Apprentice towers cost so little, it's very nice. Then I put one right out there. Actually, no, wait. I like to put them right about there. The reason for that is if you put them right here on the edge, you'll get towers, or excuse me, archers down standing right about there that like to shoot at it. So that's why I put them just a hair around the edge. What's nice about that is he'll start shooting at them once they get to right about here. He'll blast them all the way up. So it works pretty well. The other thing I do, this is where I put my lightning tower. Right about here. And he'll shoot the guys and they'll go down around the corner. Thins them out very well. Okay, for this side you have a couple options. You could either put you know, a deadly striker or two here to deal with the ogres, but what I've found works just as well. Just a couple more towers. So now you've got, you know, extra resources, and I am lagging. Too much stuff going on in the background. Okay, so you got this. Let's see. Let's drop another one right here. Just add some more damage. Still got more. Okay. Let's do this. Alright, just to add some more damage here. Since I only did the setup once or twice, I'm kind of forgetting how I set this up last time. Oh, pretty close. Okay. So if you want the extra, there's the extra one. There we go, 110. Let's run this. Again, you could have set up just a couple more and ran the phase and set up during, but since I'm talking while I'm setting it up, here we go. Again, I'm going to be doing one as well for hunters, and showing you how to set up your traps so you can solo this for hunters as well. Look at all that mana. Easy peasy. Fireball towers are great. If you have a monk as well, fireball towers and auras work great. One of my favorite combinations. I like them better than traps because the traps tend to run out and you have to repair them. Towers, you don't have to worry about it. Now, since the new patch, they've upgraded the amount of boost for each upgrade on a tower or wall, which is great. For the patch in the tests I did, we were roughly getting about 6 to 8% per upgrade, which didn't really seem worth it to me. But since the patch seems to be about 20%, if I read right, and my test as well, so it's definitely worth upgrading. Things I would upgrade first for the Apprentice would be stuff right here on this edge. You could do your walls as well, but really, the trick with the Apprentice is you want to do as much damage as you can before they even get to your walls, since your walls tend to be pretty basic, not very strong. So let's see here. This guy here, he's doing 2318. Let's check one of the ones that's not updated. Not bad. Over about almost a 300 damage gain for 100 mana. Not bad at all. As you see here, this setup is overkill. You can probably get away with one fireball tower and a lightning tower here, but it's nice to see them die quickly. Everything seems to be dying very, very easily. And again, if you're going for speed runs and not wanting to mess with all the extra towers, you can get away with probably 3 up here. The lightning fireball tower and 1 magic missile in that corner to catch the guys on this little corner that like to hide. It'd be good. So you could do this with a lot less. Excuse me, if you wanted to. Very, very easy. But when I tend to play, and normally I'm doing these other levels for power leveling, I like to try to get the highest score and XP possible. So I go for not attacking anything and using up all my defensive units so that I get the biggest boost. Alright, so now we'll start with the next wave. Has the wonderful, let's see here. I don't care what my points are, but wonderful ogres. So I'm going to show you how this works with the ogres. Now the ogre will get up here. I think he'll get off 1 or 2 hits on the barricade and die. So again, if you wanted to, really with this setup that I've got on the corner, this here is really only for ogres. Once in a great while you'll get a guy that gets through here and gets up to the wall, but that guy right there in the corner tends to take care of him. So you could put like 2 deadly strikers here or whatever you want to do. The ogres on hard are very low HP ogres, so it's really not too much of a difficulty to take them out. Let's see here. Just going along. Yeah, I think these only have like 50,000 health. Oh no, I guess about 60 or something. Alright. Oh, he's down to half health now, just coming onto the bridge. He didn't even get to get an attack off. Probably because I dumped a little bit more in my tower damage than the last time I set it up. As you can see here, they're not even making it to barricades, but don't run it without barricades, just the off chance something sneaks through. So. You also get a bonus for not having any damage to the crystal in any of the waves, so it's another thing that's nice. So if you can add all those in for just a little bit more time in the setup, it's definitely worth it if you're planning on leveling any more characters. Okay, 7th wave is down. As you can see, I'm leveling just about every wave here. So it's good to check these chests and the loot. There's a lot of loot here that is pretty decent to drop at least 5 to 10 points into to upgrade it while you're farming some higher level stuff. This is where I used to farm a lot of my loot before I started doing Glitterhelm on hard, and you can get a lot of gear, 18 to low 20 upgrades with decent tower stats, and well, any stats depending on what you're shooting for, without a problem. So definitely worth it for some cheap, easy gear for you new characters. With the kind of money you're making here, it's easy to dump about 10 to 15,000 mana into each piece of gear, bump your stats up there. So you'll notice a big difference once you start getting some decent gear and learn the setups. Everything will seem easy. You could probably start doing this on Insane, probably about level 50 or so. I do have a video for Insane that I believe uses a monk and apprentice setup. Right. It's been a while since I've set that or done that video, but hard is really nice because you can swap in any class you want for leveling purposes without a problem, and you don't have to worry about repairing or anything. The only exception to that might be the ogres on the bridge here for the Squire. You might have to repair if you use a bouncer instead of a spinner. But that guy didn't even make it to the walls. You could probably take these walls out. If they do get up, they'll just run up here. But why bother? You need the defensive units used anyway. So, and for those of you that are wondering why I've got a girl apprentice, this is the new female apprentice. I can't remember what they call her. But yeah, that's the female version. A couple different abilities. Has an instant upgrade ability, which instantly upgrades like so. It costs a little bit more mana, but you can do it instantly, which is pretty darn cool. It's great for in a pinch, especially if there's a lot of mobs around something. Wall's about to go down, you can run up there. It doesn't matter if you get attacked or not, because it's instant as soon as you click. Very nice. The other ability seems to be like Mana Bomb. I never use it. It actually even says casting Mana Bomb, so it's pretty fun. They haven't fixed that yet. Supposedly in the new patch they're going to reduce the cost of it and buff it up a little bit. So Alright guys, now it's time for the Hunter version of Ramparts on hard. Alright, now the reason I don't like the Huntress as far as soloing maps with flyers is you really don't have any real options. You have to kill them yourselves. I've tried placing them on the rooftop and up on the edges and everything, and they just really don't hit it. So you're going to have to shoot them yourself. For this, either get yourself a really good DPS pet and just try to DPS it or what have you, but you're going to have to take them out yourself. Alright, so what I do is a little combo here of proximity and the gas traps. Works very well. Pretty much that's all you're going to need here. And yes, I am using a grenade launcher, which isn't the best, but being this character is only 40, I needed something with some sort of damage. The starter bow that you get from buying the game or whatever is really craptastic. So, okay, so we've got the combo here, each spot, and I will have to take out the flyers myself. Fortunately, grenade launchers are pretty lame for taking out air units, but has very high damage piercing shot, which I'm going to rely on taking these guys out, unless I could possibly try hitting them in midair, which isn't the easiest, but why not, right? So, see, my Animus is taking them out. Alright, now for here, I put another proximity trap like so. This guy's getting through here too. So, I do that just in the odd chance you get someone that can get through when both these traps are triggered, or they get through when the proximity is already on cooldown and they're immune to the gas. They'll get through and blow up on this proximity. So, the main part that's hard for this setup is doing down below to deal with the ogres. For these up top here, I like to put a proximity, an inferno as well, just because of the fact that while they're stuck in the gas, they will be getting burned by the inferno, so it works pretty well. And upgrading is always good, especially the proximity mines. You can probably get away with not doing the rest of them, but the proximity ones are going to be the bread and butter of your damage, so you're going to want to upgrade those. So, get some mana here, and hopefully I can continue my setup. Next one I do is you don't want to overlap the same type, because if you get this one, like say right here, this proximity will trigger that one, you'll be wasting charges. You want to stagger them a little bit. So what I do here, these other traps are for the ogre, because he is a big guy, and I don't have enough mana, so I'm going to go ahead and start this next wave. Pretty much the little guys aren't going to be making it very far, but the ogres will. So I'll finish that up after I get some mana. Got to deal with some flyers here. And any decent DPS weapon should be just fine. Like I said, the only reason I switched to this used to be the weapon I farmed insane, assault with, back before they nerfed that. So, I just had it sitting in my inventory, and it was a low required level, so that's the reason I busted that out, because the bow that only did like 80 damage just wasn't cutting it. Wasn't taking out the archer or the flyers very easy. I need more mana. So. Oh wow, that's the first time I've ever seen a mob get clear through there. That is very interesting. He must have glitched around there or something. That is a first. I've never seen that in all the times I've done this. Alright, so anyway, I'm just going to boost up some damage a little bit here. Gather up some mana so I can finish that down below. that has got me completely bewildered because I've done this as a trap Huntress many times, normally on higher level, but I've never seen one just walk right through the traps like they weren't even there. So, very, very odd. Alright, so normally I don't bother upgrading past level 1 for the gas traps, but I like to get the proximity and the Infernos up to 2 just to up their charges a little bit. Alright, so we'll hop down here, try to finish this up. Alright. Now the one thing you might have to keep in mind with the ogres, and I am lagging a little bit, they might, if they get past this last trap, just watch when the ogres, you can open your map while you're running around doing other stuff, they might possibly get past that, that trap setup. If they do, which I've only seen it happen once, the other times I had enough. Say if you're trying to do this at like in the low 30s and your damage isn't quite up there, what you're going to want to do is go ahead and set yourself over there, so when he gets up there, shoot him a couple times, run back across the bridge, he'll follow you back down and die. So ogres are very easy to get to follow you, and you can lure them right back across the traps. Now if trappers had any sort of way of putting walls up, it really wouldn't be much of an issue, but since they don't, just out of luck. And again, this is a lot more of a pain in the butt than trying to deal with the other classes for soloing because of having to deal with all those guys. So, as you can see, this works pretty well. You gotta watch because you'll think you're done with the flyers, then all of a sudden there's a whole bunch more. So they come in 2 to 3 waves. Especially on the 7th and the 8th wave. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade these guys down here. Again, I'm running out of mana. And that's the end of that one. So this should be the only setup you really need. It's only 57 out of 110, so you have a lot more room for dropping more traps if you want, but you really don't need it. A lot of times I don't even bother running this gas trap here. I just do the proximity just to try to add some more damage to the ogre as he comes by. Proximity up there. Again, the proximity is going to be the bulk of your damage on that first setup. Not much is going to make it past that first one, but as you've seen earlier in this video, every once in a while one will sneak by. But hopefully that won't be an issue. You've got the proximity in the back, which is to protect you from that kind of thing. So go ahead and get this rolling. I like to keep my proximities around 20 charges or so. Just a tad too close. Was triggering off that other guy. So you gotta watch that. Alright, so we got flyers. So I'm gonna take those guys out. It's so hard to see around this thing being the large model. I used to hate that when I was doing assault, but it's the best weapon I had found, so I went ahead and kept it. Luckily my Animus can pretty much take these guys out by yourself. So, but if you don't have a really cool, decent Animus, you're going to need to DPS them down yourself. So, second wave of flyers. Down. Let's go see how this ogre's going. I don't want my pet killing it. I want to actually see the traps take it out. Oh, he didn't make it. He got to that proximity. So this one's just in case. Or if you have lower damage. So again, feel free to help out. Help some guys. It's not needed, but I'm just going to do it just to try to speed up this video a little bit. Alright. Go ahead and repair these guys. Okay. Go and repair these. And again, this is the downside to traps. You got to make sure the charges are all there. Otherwise, you'll have them go down, and then you'll be scrambling, trying to figure out why you've got a whole bunch of mobs getting farther into your base area than you want. So, all right, final wave. Here we go. Hasn't been too hairy. Pretty easy so far. Given my pet's been doing some work, but most everyone will have a pet that has some sort of attack, which helps. But for this, you're gonna have to attack it yourself. So, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Hopefully this kind of explains how to set it up for at least the 3 main classes. The monks really don't have a whole lot of options there. You're going to have to run a bunch of enraged auras and lightning auras and stuff, but what happens is it takes a lot longer because the mobs don't do much damage to each other, and so then you're sitting there just waiting for them to kill each other unless you want to run up and kill them yourself. And it's just not a very good setup overall. Yeah, let's get up there. Guys trying to get in. Oh, I'm lagging. Anywho, that's pretty much it. I'll try to make some more videos if you guys have suggestions, what you want me to do. I'll try to make up some more. I stopped making some for a while because it seemed like every couple days we were getting new patches that were changing everything. So, another wave of flyers. So, yeah, I hopefully will be doing some more videos here as stuff changes. And again, oh, that guy made it through that time. But it took him out, so no biggie there. Now we just have some trash mobs to clean up. Go through and try to clean those up a little quicker. Feel free to check out my other videos. Once you get up into like the 50s and you have multiple characters, say in the 50s, I would highly suggest my Glitterhelm farming video, which that'll be in the description. That'll help out quite a bit. But this is a good, you know, map to do before you can do those others. I used to farm this one all the time before I got characters up into the 50s and 60s. When I only had 1 or 2 characters, I'd run this, typically with my Squire. So, very easy to do, as I proved with this video. Do it on any of the 3 main classes. The monks typically tend to be mostly support anyway. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching.